G'day, I'm Kieran Murphy from Agriculture Victoria. So context is I work for an Agriculture Victoria research business, the science portfolio. Today I'll just cover that science portfolio, digital strategy, what we're doing, which was launched last year, the virtual SmartFarms project, which we've seen on the TV today, how we've delivered some augmented reality and virtual reality in that. And I'll get to maybe some of that if we want to go there, some of the things that say the key challenges or the big opportunities for the next steps around new data infrastructures and our API services. So yeah, we're Agriculture Victoria Research. We're comprised of 6 science branches. They're on there, I won't go through them. Clearly you can see them. But we're enabled by our hub and spokes, by our SmartFarm innovation clusters that bring all those research initiatives and programs together. And I suppose that's our digital twin, where we have our physical farms out across Victoria. 5 of them are labelled as SmartFarms. We have other, obviously, sites where staff are based. But really the mission, it's a very clear mission. We're science and technology for productivity and biosecurity outcomes. So we were lucky enough last year to launch a digital agriculture strategy by our minister, really with 3 key outcomes from that strategy. One is the linking agricultural smart farms with industry, attracting ag-tech businesses and the world's best science across agricultural regions, and we're seeing that today, and that's why we're here, to link with the ag-tech market. We had launched an Internet of Things, a $12 million trial program. It was launched last Friday by the Minister, hoping to attract up to 600 farms to participate in adoption of technology through a grant program. It's a really exciting piece of initiative for the department. And I guess everything we do, and I'll try to get that end bit, is using technology to streamline government processes and leadership in data management. Probably government maybe haven't been the leaders in data management and how we've worked on potentially siloed systems and the like, but we're changing that process now, and we'll touch on that briefly today. So I don't know, anyone, if they saw the stand over there, we've actually had a fair bit of interest today, so it's been quite, last 2 days, pretty exciting for us, people looking at this hub and spoke model of connectivity across our research farms. I think it's really important you look at those 6 farms in Ellenbank with their dairy, Hamilton with red meat, wool to a point, Tatura with stone fruit production predominantly. There's a temperate, a nut orchard being planted there. Horsham, the grains, and Mildura, which we've just really planted a whole new research orchard there in close planting almonds, which is a complete shift for the current almond production system at the moment in Australia, which is based on the US model. So we're calling these those farms in addition to our centre hub, our Agri-Bio Biosciences Centre, our hub and spoke model of innovation. How we bring that connection between the hub and the spokes and create a system, both in the physical system but the virtual system, which we'll talk about today. We released last year, the department, an information strategy with a headline indicated Data Smart and Future Ready. We've really latched onto that strategy because it's actually core to what we do, trying to be data smart and future ready. And earlier speakers touched on it before, the importance of data into how you run that business. So I'm going to see if my presentations play a little bit of video. Rather than get up here, I'm not as ambitious as the speaker before that gave that long presentation, because it's would be fraught with danger. My second name's Murphy, so we all know what happens there if I try those things. But really it is interactive, and this is an internal system to get our science collaboratively and communicating across those hub and spokes. So the staff in Agri-Bio that engage with Tatura and Mildura, and the staff in Agri-Bio that work with Hamilton, how we connect those into that immersive experience, and they can feel part of the one culture and the one system, I guess. So when you do look into that farm and you want to go and experience what's happening, and that's our Ellenbank farm. That was the first virtual smart farm we put together. The scientists or our staff within Ag Victoria can start to feel apart what this business is about and what we're trying to do. And really, with the advent of that digital strategy, there's been significant investments in technology on those farms. So it's not just a website. We could have gone and built a website any minute. This is a 3-year pathway to a technology adoption and a system that staff and then ultimately ag-tech and end users can come and participate in what we do and how you can partner and collaborate with us. So you can see that architecture is pretty simple. We talk about our programs, our technologies. There's our IoT platform we use down at Tatura, the Halo platform. Spoke about it today, about connected sensors into one single platform. That's been really useful for our farm managers around there for a way of actually operating. Because previously they were, again, siloed and systemed and manual process. So that's allowing them to make decisions instantly. And don't need to tell you guys here anything about how that works from a farm context. This is where we've just started, and have a look today. We have a few challenges with our technologies. We've only had this for a week, but we've done the 360s of all the farms, starting again with Ellenbank, and we've done Tatura and starting Mildura. Obviously, that's not the virtual experience, but animals are really pretty cool to work with in this virtual world. You can get a lot of information from animals, and I'm going to get to our augmented reality piece next. So we've started on virtual reality. That's new, it's moving, it's happening. But the augmented reality, and the teams here today, Angela, Mark, Matt and Carlos, that have been at the start of this augmented reality, and I was a novice to it only as little as 6 months ago, and probably a bit sceptical, to be honest, Carlos, but we work in that lean, agile mindset where we'll trial new things and put some money before we jump into any big investment or business case. So this one's really geared at Tatura SmartFarms, so where visitors can come to the farm without taking the impost on the researchers' time to walk around and experience the farm. So it's a GPS system. You walk around, you locate those augmented reality spots as you walk through the farm and have that immersive experience, if you like. So I've got an example of it.
That location gets any bit
I
of
think you don't need the
information
volume on this one. It's just a whole new branding of our smart farms. They've been completely branded and refreshed, and I've just come here today to really say, Sean, that they're actually open for ag tech and industry to come and participate in this model. We have a part of the Smart Farm program of work, and the digital strategies is the Safer, Smarter Farms program. That's geared at students and undergraduates and the like to come and participate on these farms and learn with the technology that's being delivered on farm. And the science, as you can see here, ours isn't as flash as some of the ones we've seen today, but it was a very small little proof of concept, but still pretty proud of the work. Again, you hit that spot at the location of the rootstock experiment, experience what's happening with that tree within the experiment. I'll get to the piece around where we're heading for their roadmap of this. That's the data integration into that augmented reality experience, because that's probably the most exciting path for us, is how we're integrating our research data into these technologies and enabling them, not just for our researchers in the first instance, but then the opportunities we've seen today with all you people here around how we could partner and integrate our data services and applications into that. So we're lacking on data in this experience. As I said, it's just a prototype. So you can see as you go through there what the opportunities, and don't need to explain it because you've seen it today. There's our head horticulture research manager, Ian Goodwin, who does this all the time. He's actually a pro at giving presentations, but it's taken the burden off him having to do a presentation every time someone comes there. Yeah, and that's the next iteration, is the experience is all through the assets on the farm. Seeing this today, the speaker, I think before lunch, gave a good example around the utilities in Sydney CBD, I think, of how that's working. So our spatial team are getting the cues from the spatial tool that we use, the GIS system. So it's good that we work with them and collaborate and show the things that are evolving, because again, we're novices and we're just starting in this sector. When you start to see around data entry and input into that immersive experience, or the augmented reality experience through how we're delivering this, this is where we push more into the data side of how we do that, and not just pulling data, but pushing data when things change and we need to input and update that augmented reality experience. It really is all about me here all over this video, but this is our Tatura farm, and I mentioned the sundial orchard. We did our experience. This is a new application coming in where it's each of those trees within that sundial orchard have been spatially referenced and mapped and recorded in our API service. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's equally have done that for our soils maps across the state, which has been embedded into an API service, and that is available to be consumed right now. And I'm going to go go and give you a look at how that works. So soils been mapped all from that Chachura site. Again, that's valuable data for students, researchers, industry to collect and use as we go through the journey. So what are APIs? I think everyone's pretty clear what APIs are. I think just keep it in your head if you do want to talk to us and you do have an API, you want to communicate with us, this is our pathway for doing that. We do have the SmartFarms. We're going crazy on the technology investments, so we've got more and more sensors, more and more data. We'd also have that Internet of Things trial coming in, which we know is the role of government in that trial, not just to get farmers to adopt the technology. We're facilitating the use of the data through data sharing agreements with those participants. I don't talk to what APIs are, but I'll just give you the launch, if you like, of our soils. The challenge for our research is how do we expose those locked data sets that are sitting in silos and allow them to be released to inform policy and innovation, stimulate innovation. And we've done that through the release of our soils API, which was launched in late June. It's the first publicly accessible endpoint from Mag Victoria research, and that's really important because it's demonstrating how we're opening up access to our data to be consumed through tools such as your AR technologies or your API technologies or your farm management systems, how we'll expose that public data sets and be available to you. So that's a really exciting opportunity. It's a core arm to our SmartFarms trajectory of what we're going to do, and we have a roadmap for API services and strategy to deliver over the next 12 months, which is pretty exciting. So if you take one thing home today from this, that this is live now, the developer.vic.gov.au portal. Soils API is the first one there, so it was only released 2 weeks ago. So you can go and grab that. It's packaged, it's formatted in the language that developers can use, not so much farmers, but you can grab that. And I could have put an example up where a developer last week created a spatial map. So I'm going to sort of leave it there because I know Stu's got a great presentation to really finish this off, but we really are pushing in this. I think Sean mentioned to me, what are we doing in this space? And I said, we're really rethinking data management. And I think we have to as how we do our business and how government institutions and the RDCs can work together more efficiently. So we talk about APIs and pathways to unlock and release data and share both in and out. And we're doing that with our research, with our rethinking data management. I won't go through these, but we all know there's organisations' problems they have now with their current data management in silos. We're partnering with AWS on this as we partner with Microsoft and Google and all the providers. Just for this example, we're working with the AWS team on building, configuring data infrastructure to allow us to address these problems that we're all going to face soon. You know, the data is growing exponentially, 10 times every 5 years. Well, since we started on this IoT project, we had this slide that, as we pitched it into the business, that's changed already. Data's growing, not in 5 years, it's growing every 5 months or 5 weeks. So there's big challenges. How are we going to do this? Everyone wants a piece of that data. There's all different personas wanting to access. How are we going to do that? For the way we're looking at working on our SmartFarms, how we can expose that data through our APIs is to really put it in one place, into what we call our data lake, and the necessary release agreements from that data lake, which is public and private through our API. So, summary, thank you for listening. We're really open to doing business in our SmartFarm agenda. It's open. Those sites across the state are centres for ag-tech to come and participate and collaborate. So if there's opportunities you see based on the little snapshot we've given you today or accessing data, let's have that discussion. Providing the virtual farms, providing new experience for our users, for our staff to come and engage and interact with us, but then obviously the next steps out to industry. We'll continue to do these prototypes, and we're rapt to see some of the platforms here that we could participate with in that augmented reality experience, which we need to. Our API strategies are starting to mature, and you'll see that in the developer.vic.gov.au portal where you want to access that soils data, and we're already getting interest across the states. And like I said, I think ultimately we will embrace these new data infrastructures to support big data management, dare I say it, and so it's accessible and scalable across our regions, across states, and across the country.